So arriving to New York on the first day, didn't really know what to do, hung out in my room for a little bit, went downstairs into the lobby, and I saw a bunch of the kids with Israel Lacrosse clothes on. I was like, okay, might as well meet them. It was a little overwhelming, I'll be honest, because I had no idea who any of these kids were getting into it. Absolutely no clue.
And then I started to get a bit more comfortable. I started realizing everyone was on the same level. You know, we're all like, no one really knew each other.
The first night, I was literally sitting in my room with my roommate, listening to music, just me and him, because I didn't know anyone but him.
And there were a ton of other kids in the same position I was. You know, they had just met each other 5 minutes ago, and they were willing to meet like new kids and all of that.
It was hard to remember that like we were doing something a lot bigger than what we were doing in practice, like during that one drill, or like finding a person in full costume in Times Square. But
New York was a blast. It felt like a week there, even though it was 2 days. It was so long because we had lacrosse there, you know, getting to know each other.
And then over like the first 2 days, it happened like really quickly. We all suddenly became like family to each other. It was crazy.
But I think after that first practice and that first day in the city, kind of touring and all that stuff, I definitely became close to people that I didn't think it would be that quickly. But by that night, it was just like I knew them forever.
We started like boarding the plane to Israel, and like even when we got there, I couldn't believe it. And already it was like an amazing experience. It was a perfect group to be with.
We arrived to Israel and we went to Tel Aviv. We went to a famous restaurant called Dr. Shakshuka. Shakshuka is a traditional Israeli breakfast where eggs are boiled into tomato sauce. It comes with hummus and tahina, other traditional Israeli foods. We went straight from the airport to Tel Aviv Yafo. It's a very diverse city. People from all over the world, immigrants from all over the world. There's Russians, Jews, Ethiopians, Arabs, Muslims, Palestinians are all living together, and I think it's important to see this city and see the coexistence. And it's not everything the media hypes everything up to be, and so that's where we started the trip in Tel Aviv. Sticks for Kids is a program where we use our national team players, men's and women's, to do outreach work in the community. And the city identifies what it means to be at risk. So these kids, there's 10 centers across every city. They're called Madonit, and it's an after-school center where kids have a place to go and do their homework, get a hot meal, have some instruction. And these kids are at risk for a variety of reasons, whether they have two parents and they both work really hard, maybe they have one parent and their brother will pick them up. And we go in there and do the best job we can with the Hebrew skills that we do have to engage these kids in a positive manner and brighten their day, try to teach them something new, and just be a positive impact on them. And hopefully they grow up and they'll remember us, and we can use lacrosse as that vehicle to help them have a nice day. And hopefully one day they'll join our after-school program and help us build future lacrosse stars of Israel.
I've had a great experience teaching, and I want to share that with everyone else. And like seeing the homes they come from, especially like some of the kids we've taught, like they don't have like the best at-home life, and they get to come out to the field and suddenly they're on the same level as everyone else. They get to forget about everything and then just play lacrosse is a great experience.
Just teaching them, so much fun, and showing them what we know and what we want them to learn and how, quick they pick up. Normally people tour like the big cities, they stay here, they stay there, but we're staying in these little hotels kind of in the middle of nowhere, teaching these kids in the middle of nowhere on grass fields that have never played before, and some of the kids are like, in danger.
You literally went to like Kiryat Gat and you went to Netanya, and we worked with kids in like the lower grade schools and even high school girls. And you saw the smiles on their faces like when you walked in the door with sticks in your hands, and it like lit up your whole world. It just connected me in so many different ways I didn't know was possible. so awesome to like see how you can impact kids and girls and boys either way, like seeing them pick up a ground ball for the first time. You would never like think that that would open their eyes to a whole new world.
It's interesting putting a bunch of Americans who've been playing the sport for years and a bunch of native Israelis who've been playing it for maybe 2 years, 3 years, and also the lack of equipment, the lack of coaching and all that, and putting it together. And playing together was really amazing because you see the difference, but at the same time you see the similarities.
When we played the Hanukkah tournament, we always had 2, 3, or 4 like Israeli girls on our team, and they were like just hanging with us, like playing so well.
A couple of kids came up to me. They're like, "We are so happy you're here, and we can't wait to play." That really surprised me, to be honest. I was really close with all the kids on my club team, you know, all the kids on my defensive line, and I think that making bonds with those kids and teaching them what I know, and them teaching me what they know, and like seeing the game through their eyes was so eye-opening. It was incredible.
Getting to play with some of the players and seeing how much they appreciated it was definitely like a very heartwarming thing to do, and I didn't really expect that coming to the trip.
I think that was the best part, was just the combination of both skill levels and putting it together.
אני מדליק משואה זאת.
On this trip, we got to visit a unique location called Latroon.
This is the best tank in the world, Merkava. We have it now in the army. This is the first one, okay?
Both men and women are obligated to serve in the military from the age of 18, women for 2 years and men for 3. We were able to witness a graduation ceremony in true fashion of the Israeli army. So I've been living in Israel for the past 3 years, and we always have men's practice every Friday morning. Everybody's living across the country, so it's somewhat difficult to get everyone together. And something unique and fun for us as employees and adults and experienced players is getting to play a game. And so when the winter service trip comes over, we always know it's an exciting time because we know we're getting a game in. And it doesn't really matter that it's against high school kids, because we want to bring it. We want to win, and we know they want to bring it because they're playing the national team. And it's just always a fun experience to play them and give them a good game, and also kind of cheer on the women and their game and just enjoy the atmosphere of playing lacrosse in Israel.
It's a bunch of high schoolers playing against former Division I, Division III, All-American, MLL Pro players, and really just how close of a bond we had over 4 or 5 days, how close of a bond we already had. And we've never played together, but just putting all our skills together really showed that you can do it, and like it really is manageable.
Representing Israel lacrosse has been an honor. It's been a huge experience, and playing with all these people, it's just like a once-in-a-lifetime experience.
We're having a lot of success dodging the alley and clearing through for the short stick masters. Let's keep doing that.
Keeping the flames the hardest.
Very nice, very nice. Oh, God. Thank you.
Yeah, you come to Israel for the first time. You saw Tel Aviv, never even heard of the city of Ashkelon. We went there. And of course, we have to go to Jerusalem. We entered the old city of Jerusalem by walking through the Jaffa Gate as a group. And we then went through the markets. The kids had some free time to explore the shops, explore the city, explore the architecture. We decided to go on a very unique day. It was Shabbat and it was Hanukkah.
So, like on the faith side of things, if I had never came to Israel, I never would have been able to do the things like going to the Western Wall, like seeing the old city of Jerusalem. All those things were like opportunities that were offered to me through lacrosse, from Israel lacrosse.
To me, over the past few years, the winter service trip, I've met a lot of kids, and I truly see it as a transformative experience for these kids. They come to Israel, they have this one-track mind of having everything available to them in America, and they come over to Israel, and things are crazy, things are hectic, and they go into a volunteer session in southern Israel, just outside Beersheba, to a Druze Arabic village, and we put on a clinic for Arabic children ages 4 to 12, and these kids had smiles on their face the whole day with a bunch of Jewish kids. So we try to teach inclusivity with Israel Lacrosse, and I think sports has the ability to do that.
So everybody always hears about the Dead Sea, and all you hear is, oh, you can float and all this stuff, and everyone's like, oh, I'm too heavy for that. No, that, like, I don't believe that. But you have huge men. Everybody's able to just go in there and enjoy it. The mud there is something to really check out. It makes your skin feel amazing. The beaches are awesome. So like a lot of people just all enjoying the water. You can see other countries from across the ocean. That's a really cool experience. This body of water is unlike anything else. It's something that the people of Israel have always had. And to be able to come here and experience that also, something you can't get anywhere else.
Up on the camels, we're going in pairs. The bigger one is sitting on the back, the smaller one is sitting on the front.
Mount Masada is a pretty historical place. It's located on a plateau overlooking the Dead Sea, and the story is pretty significant. There's a group of Israelites living up there, and the Romans back in ancient time wanted to take over that land, and they wanted to enslave the Israelites living up there. As a last sacrifice to themselves and the Israeli people, they decided to commit suicide as a group, as a last stand in defiance against the Roman Empire. We felt this was a very significant place to take the winter service trip on our last day, and we had a group of chaperones that rose up extra early this morning to go to the top of Mount Masada and place the kids' Team Israel jerseys. They woke at sunrise and saw their Israel jersey with their name on the back on the top of Mount Masada. It was very significant for us as we were traveling to another country to play an international competition where these kids would represent Israel. We really wanted to give them a perspective what it means to be Jewish and Israeli, and the sacrifice that our people have gone through to persevere over time.